to the Ross Patterson Revolution! Brought to you by GhostBed.com.
How are you, Jabes?
I'm okay.
Good for you. Good for you. You look healthy. You look fresh. I look like I've been fucking raped on a boat in central Michigan, and I've got a sunburn that a fucking Irishman would be jealous of right now.
Sure.
Jesus Christ. This pandemic bullshit's got to end. What everyone looks like on all of these goddamn things. Like, I even hate the way I look now inside of this thing.
Okay.
Like what we're doing is staring at Zoom essentially, and everybody's doing Zoom shit.
Right.
If I had to look at myself during this all day, Bourdain got off easy.
Right.
Easy. I would have taken a fucking cheese grater to the rest of my face and then just sent that out as my last Instagram picture out to the world before that all happened here. Because this is just goddamn depressing, all of it.
I know. Well, that we're in different waves of our emotions, right?
No, you look like you're literally on a runway at Fashion Week 2019, pre-pandemic. I look like the stepbrother that you had, where it's just like, what's his skin pigmentation? Because it's definitely not of mine, and I don't know who the fuck married this guy and decided to procreate, because I'm not sure what's happening. For anybody else at home, I'm definitely not sunburned. I've been stuck inside all day, dealing with the joys of moving. I'm not even going to bother you with it because everybody's moved in their life, so I'm not going to say that my moving woes are harder than anyone else's today.
No, they're
but
not.
I do want to talk about pigmentation, because maybe Nick Cannon is correct. Maybe that the sun didn't soak up enough in my skin, and therefore I'm a piece of shit and I'm inferior. Because according to Nick Cannon, that's what happened to the white man all these years.
Yeah, and it's the way he says it, right? Like melanin deficient, and then like the melanated. Like if you're melanated, you're black, and you're like non-mel. It's all very confusing. Yeah. I've been waiting for Nick Cannon to be canceled for a very long time now, as you know.
Yeah.
As you know.
Yep.
I don't understand it. It's a prank that's being played on me, right? That people are giving him jobs and he's working so much, and the turban and everything.
Not anymore, Jabes. He got canceled last night. So Paramount and Paramount owns MTV and all that other shit, and Viacom have officially pulled Nick Cannon off the air and have canceled him. I know that term gets used a lot, of so-and-so is canceled, this celebrity's canceled, blah, 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 blah. He was canceled mid-air last night. I have never seen anything like it. Mid-air, they ripped that motherfucker's show off of MTV, Wild 'N Out, and put Fresh Prince in. And it was about 14 minutes in. So
the show?
Yes. They pulled it so fast last night that the description in the guide was still up that said Wild 'N Out. And then all of a sudden, Will's talking to the butler. Master Will, it looks like you're in quite an entanglement, aren't you? And he's like, nope, my wife's fucking somebody else, and I've been fucking Margot Robbie and Ava Mendes.
Fair.
But it was shocking. And this is what should happen. Nick Cannon released a statement today that said that this is the wrong time to do this during a pandemic with the protests going on, and that the network was afraid of an outspoken black man. Not at all. Fact of the matter is, Nick, you're just a fucking piece of shit racist. And it's time to start calling people out for what they really are, regardless of race. Nick Cannon hates white people. He's always fucking hated white people. And if you're going to go on air and quote Farrakhan and say that the melanin in all of the white people's skin is what causes all white people to be evil over time, yes, you deserve to be fucking canceled. That would be like if I went on air and started quoting David fucking Duke. I would expect to be pulled off of all my shit. So everything that is happening to you today and last night is completely deserved. And to be honest, it should have been years ago. This motherfucker's been spouting off shit like this for years. And the hilarious thing was he peaked at Drumline. Drumline was his peak. Blew all that fucking money and then had to knock up Mariah Carey, a white woman, to pay for all of his shit. The only reason Nick Cannon is relevant today is because he married a white woman named Mariah Carey, who's worth about $300 million, and allowed him to do his bullshit. Allowed him to wear his little fucking turban and his glasses and to run around and talk shit all day about white people and then come home and fuck his white wife at night. So Nick Cannon, fuck you and all of your bullshit. Oh, it's the white man's problem for everything. Is it? Why'd you marry a white woman? If black people were so great to you, why did you go outside your own race to get married and have kids? I don't understand it. I don't understand all of his bullshit. And then him crying today about why he's out of a job and he wants all the rights back to his $1 billion franchise. He said Wild 'N Out was worth $1 billion. In what world?
Dude,
what world was Wild 'N Out worth $1 billion?
I've never seen it. I've tried and was like, no. I can't with him.
Look,
how is this the main thing they're saying is anti-Semitic, right? Is it the Islam thing with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the Nation of Islam, and
which is deemed a terrorist organization, by the way.
Yeah. So, he's been showing up in turbans. Last night in this interview, he was in a full burqa, or whatever you call it. Which,
fun.
Hey, that's a fun, flirty thing. Why don't you go back to live in the nation if you want,
Sure.
Just go to the Middle East, check it out, Nick. Let me know how you feel about
Wild
everything.
out.
Yeah,
Why don't you
wild out over
wild
there. Wild out over there. Again, no problem with marrying a white woman and using all of her money and fame for his own personal gain. But yeah, man, by all means, it's definitely the skin and the Muhammad. Who is it? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yeah.
Mohammed. That's it. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who's causing all of this for us white folks. So Nick Cannon deserves everything he's fucking getting today. And he should be treated like everybody else, to be honest with you. Every single other person who's accused of being a racist, it doesn't matter which race you're against. You're still fucking racist. Just because there is, a Black Lives Matter movement going on doesn't give you the power to go ahead and scold all white people and say that we're the devil and everything is evil. So Nick Cannon can get fucked, as Dan Holloway would say. And look, I worked for him. I've talked about this story on the show before. I've worked for Nick Cannon back in the day. You go on my IMDb, you'll see I wrote a couple fucking sketches, was in his show. My office was next to his at MTV. He's always been a piece of shit.
Right.
Always. The budget of his show was $250,000. Everybody was working their ass off. MTV doesn't really pay dick over there. And anybody in production can tell you that. However, the power of MTV can make you real famous real quick. And you can turn that opportunity into a lot. So I'm not even bitching about the budgets. But the hilarious thing is he would show up to work every day in this $350,000 Bentley that was more than the actual show he was shooting that day in front of the crew, just to show, hey, man, I'm Nick Cannon and I have a fucking Bentley. And at the time, he was not married to Mariah. So I imagine as soon as the bills started coming in that he was like, shit, I got to not pull out of someone rich real quick. Who's up first? Mariah Carey.
Can you remind me of the football player that is dealing with an anti-Semitic thing right now?
Deshaun Jackson.
Now that is how you deal with it, right? So he was, apologizing and was, willing to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Whereas Nick Cannon is doubling down. Mm-hmm. He's not apologizing, and he's actually trying to defend his point of view. You know what I mean? He's not saying, no, I didn't say that, or no, I didn't mean that. He's saying, you know what I mean? Like, I just want whatever. He's doubling down on it. Whereas, the canceling thing, if it's Nick Cannon, I'm so down. Like, he needs to be canceled. There's something up with him.
Everyone is.
We're done with him. But there are certain people that you can use if he didn't speak about it in the way that he did, and he wasn't as like ingrained in this world. Mm-hmm. It could be a teachable moment, which is what's happening with Deshaun Jackson, right? And he's willing to be like, okay,
Sure.
cool. Like, let's have the conversation. And he wasn't canceled, right? Which I like, right? I like if you're willing to be like, I'm sorry, can we talk about this? That people will let you do that. Because if you just keep canceling people, right? Then then it just goes back to the way it was, right?
Yeah.
With him, though, I'm down.
Yeah, I think everybody's
With him,
down.
I'm down. Yeah.
All of America is down, and everybody's been over Nick Cannon's bullshit for a while. This was the final fucking straw that broke the white man's back, I guess. Because again, apparently white people are the cause of all evil in the world, including, I mean, according to last night's rant. So
right.
I'm all done with Nick. I'm glad it's over. And good night and good luck on that. I'll be curious. The last one that he's still on is the Masked Singer, which I can't stand that shit anyways. So
he's still on it?
Still hosting that. I imagine he'll be pulled from that, and I think that'll probably be the end of it. He was already pulled from America's Got Talent. MTV and Paramount and Viacom have pulled him from all their shit. So we'll see. I can't imagine Fox would put up with that shit at all.
No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Wait. No.
No, not at all. Not at all. And every day when you think we haven't reached peak 2020, it just keeps going. Keeps going. RBG is back in the hospital, Jabes.
Gosh, now there's another one that just keeps on kicking.
19th time in the hospital this year. I'm kidding. I don't know how many
Probably?
it is at this point. Probably.
Weekend at RBG's.
I know. It's absolute insanity that she's still alive and keeps going. I'm going to be honest. Whatever your politics are at this point, you got to give it to her.
I know.
That old broad is tough as nails, dude. I've never seen a human just will herself into another election for 4 years. What is she? 88 years old,
dude. It's gonna be a finishing crossing the finish line type of sitch, right? Where she literally goes to the end of it and just dies, probably, right?
Maybe.
But my God, how amazing if you actually get there and be like, I did it, huh? But that's another 4 years she needs to stay alive. Is that true?
We don't know, because look, if Trump gets reelected, there's no way she's gonna try to keep going for that.
I don't know.
I don't either.
Hatred is a powerful drug, man. I mean,
yeah,
it is working for her.
I guess, man. It's so insane to me, because what she was taken in for. I guess she had yet another surgery, and then she was taken in for like fever and chills, which those are the symptoms of the coronavirus. She is definitely in that age range. Yes. So here's where I'm going with this, Jessie. You know where she goes down to coronavirus right before the election. I would think at this point, Democrats would carry her casket cross country by foot. By foot, not by car, not Reagan style. Remember when Ronald Reagan died? Yeah. Remember when Ronald Reagan died and they put that motherfucker in the back of a limo? And it went from like California to, I don't know, Poughkeepsie, New York, or whatever it was. I have no idea. Made that last part up. But I remember people lining the highways just like waving to Ronald Reagan. And it was like, oh, shit. For RBG, they will carry her tiny little body coast to coast on foot and make a whole meal out of this goddamn thing. And that would be peak 2020, because then for the election, it would literally come down to who are you voting for the Supreme Court, not for president anymore.
No,
it would.
I think people are going to get wiser to that type of stuff, right? Where don't worry, you're worrying too much about the president and not enough about the other things, obstacles. Do you know what I mean? Don't worry about that. Worry about your obstacles that you're going to put in front of them. But people don't think that. They're like, him tweeting is ruining everything. It's like, do you know how many moving parts go into all of this? it would blow your tiny little mind if you knew how many people. I'm talking to other people, not you. But it would blow your mind to find out how many people and how many things you have to go through. Have you ever tried to get a permit for your house?
Yeah, good luck with that.
Times that by 5 million to try and get one thing done as far as the president, right? So, look, you're focusing on the wrong thing. That's all.
We'll see. We'll see what happens, James. But every day there's something crazier and crazier going on. And the mass exodus from LA continues. I had 2 actor friends. One of them hit me. I can say one of them. Fuck it. I can't say the other. But one of them wrote me a Facebook message at 4:20. I'm looking at 4:23 a.m. this morning. Bobby Ray Schaefer, Bob Vance Refrigeration on The Office.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, man. I as soon as that last shutdown hit, he goes, this was it for me. I pulled up stakes. Just want you to know that I'm heading down south and I love you. I'm fighting the good fights here and I got to get out.
Did he say where he was going?
He said down south. He wasn't specific and I'm not going to say where he is.
I think that's more of a vibe than a place. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm going down south. That could be all kinds of things, right? But the idea is I'm not dealing with this northerner bullshit, right? And that could be any number of places that aren't maybe actually south, right? But
yeah. I can tell you a lot of people are coming to Austin. That I do know.
And we can probably say more once they actually out themselves, but it's big.
We're not gonna
people
tip the big. We're not gonna tip the big one, but I'll tip. I'll give you one tip off.
Okay.
I was at a dinner meeting last night and pulled out the blueprint. Show me the blueprints. Because we're looking for studio space and all that stuff. Friend of ours, mutual friend of ours, brought out the full blueprints for Austin and acreage and everything. I mean, it was incredible. Like what you can do now on those new iPads. Yeah. I was like, holy shit. We were at a dinner. Tesla. She confirmed Tesla is here. Yes. And they bought. I saw the acreage they bought and it's over by the airport and I was like, it makes sense. It makes sense. And the heavy pitch that I got was, hey man, that's our next door neighbor. You should put your studio here. And I was like, it's a tad far from my house, right? It's about 33 miles. And I'm not sure that I want to make that commute. And she was like, I'll throw in the Tesla Y. You want to make that happen? Because we're sharing the space with them. And I was like, for those of you who haven't heard about it, that is the fully self-driving car that is due out from Tesla next summer. And
what am I going to do?
Well, here's the thing. She goes, look, you'll be able to do all your emails in the car, all your work, whatever. All you have to do is just lightly tap that steering wheel. And so James, maybe you can have that and I can have that Bronco. The new Bronco, and then we'll call it a day.
But you're the one that needs to do all the emails and shit.
I do and I don't.
Maybe I should be in the Bronco.
I do and I don't. Yeah. If you're gonna do it, I'd let you sex up the Bronco for sure.
Oh, dude, watch out, world.
Yeah.
If I roll up in a Bronco, I actually want an older one, but hey, up to you.
You could. If they throw in a Tesla, I'm down. I'll take that studio and get that Bronco.
Here's a deal I want to make with you then.
Okay.
So if you get the new Bronco, I want like an old like Dodge truck that's kind of like revamped a little bit.
All right. Here's my own. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. And it's cool. No further questions. I'm asking if that's a deal you want to make with me. Here's the deal. And I love those old Dodges. They're rad. I love the old Broncos. The problem is the maintenance on that. Like we just don't have time for any of it.
It's not going to be for far trips. It's going to be to just roll up to the bar, look rad. Do you know what I mean? What? Sure. I'm not going to be actually using it as my everyday driver, dude. It'll be the Sunday driver.
Okay.
Is it okay if we have a Sunday driver that's like those fabric, like Aztec looking seats, the squarish.
Yeah. I have one request.
Blue and white.
You rip off the doors. Here's the thing. We're in Texas. I'm going somewhere with this, James. I'm going somewhere with this. we're in Texas, right? And there is a lot of people who have just said, all right, fuck it. It's 105 today. I don't really care. I'm used to the heat or whatever. I've seen more cars like Jeeps and shit with like full doors, everything off, that I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
I guess that's the thing, man. Like you just don't care anymore. And I was just like, I admire it. I was at Home Depot yesterday. I saw like 6 in a row, and I was just like, shit. I felt guilty shutting my own door. I was like, oh, I'm the loser who still has doors on my car. So it's kind of a thing here that I'm learning, where I'm like, all right, great. I guess we don't need any of that. It's just kind of like a giant bunch of giant dune buggies rolling around.
Sure. I just like the feeling of that heavy, creaky
door. Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you pull up. Oof. That is what I'm talking about. And Austin is the place to do it, because that could take you anywhere. You can roll up to like Twisted 100%. X.
Yep.
Twisted X, but then you can also go to like downtown Austin, and they'll be like, sweet truck, bro. Like,
yes.
You know what I mean? It takes you everywhere.
Yeah.
So you're welcome. And I'm glad we made that deal, and everyone that heard about it. And it's basically like signing. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
Because everyone, the Nooners have all heard it, and I can recall this episode if we need to talk to lawyers or anything.
Absolutely. By the way, one of the joys of living here, though, was even at last night's dinner meeting, I thought all the places were closed, bars and restaurants. Mm-hmm. Apparently, if you have outdoor or you have a rooftop, you're able to stay open, including Los Angeles. And I was like, oh, all right. So last night, I went to it was a rooftop sushi place.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I was like, oh shit, this is rad. And service was terrible, but the food was fantastic, James. It's nice to have great food again. I forgot what it was like.
Yeah,
you're in Ojai right now.
I know. I'm in Ventura.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of the point, right? So in Austin, and that's where you were, right?
Yeah.
So you can stay open if you have outdoor, but if you don't, they're not allowing you to try and figure that out. So that's the only thing. So if you have an outdoor rooftop, you're already good. Your business clearly can afford something like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be fine anyways. The problem with that is not letting people, if that is the rule, not letting people try and accommodate, whether it's in parking lots or whatever, they're not allowing that to happen. And that's the shitty part, right? Because you're right. If you have an outdoor area, and that's everywhere. If you have an outdoor area where people can kind of space out a little bit, you can stay open. It's just how many people have money for an outdoor area? I mean, do you know how much, that adds, especially in Los Angeles and Austin, both those places. So that should be the place where the city, whatever, allows you to try and make it work. Just try and make it work. Even Twisted X, where they were like, if you let me, I will build a completely safe area. If this fucking shit is real and this is what we want to say, let me fix it. They won't, right? And that's the fucking thing that everyone's raging against. But yeah.
Yeah, because last night there was a friend of ours, Xander, had set up a meeting in LA, and he's like, "Hey man, I need you to have dinner with this guy for that thing." And I was like, "All right, great. Where?" Like, and he named the place, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's open." And he goes, "Well, they have a rooftop."
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right."
Again, if you have a rooftop in LA, you are going to be fine anyways.
I don't know too many. Yeah, but I don't know too many is the issue, and I'm like.
Right.
All right, great. You can go ahead and set that. Yeah, because I'll be in LA this weekend, and then we're recording the audiobook for the third St. James book next week. And so we'll be doing shows out of there. Hopefully I will have escaped from whatever fucking trap I'm in or whatever's going on
here.
Is
Dan going to be there too? Or are we all going to be in the same spot? Okay.
We will all be in the same spot doing
That'll
shows.
That'll be easier.
Yeah. Because this Zoom bullshit is, God damn it. Everything about this pandemic I'm over with, and the fucking Zoom, dude. Even that too. Like, I'm all done with all of it. Have you heard about schools yet? Let me ask you that.
So there's actually in Texas, I just got an email from our new district that they are
opening.
Yeah, that they are actually doing a live announcement today.
Oh,
So,
today. Got you.
Yeah.
So that has
and
been.
that's just the district. That's a superintendent. So I don't know if that goes against what. I don't know who actually decides, right? So the superintendent talks about it, but it's really up to who? The governor, the mayor. Like, I'm unsure.
Yeah, it is a district by district basis.
Okay.
And I know Austin's was yesterday. We're in
Okay.
Dripping Springs, right outside of Austin, so we're in a different district. And the lady that I was meeting with last night, Andy, she's got 2 children, and she just got the news that it was all online last night, and in Austin. But she goes, "Look, you're in a different school district than we are, so." She goes, "Hey," and I go, "What are you going to do?" Because that's been the big thing, by the way, and that's why I bring this up. Is I've had more friends of mine who are parents reach out to me and say, "Hey, man, it's almost like did your kid get into Harvard?" No, I didn't. All right, well, what's going on with your school district?
Are you in?
Yeah. So she's got 2 children, and she said, "Fuck it." She goes, "I'm getting the curriculum. I'm going to homeschool them on my own, and I'm not doing this 1-hour Zoom bullshit class thing that's, you really can't teach children under, which you can't, in my opinion. It's not enough. It is not enough for children to learn. And she's going to do a complete homeschooling situation until this is cleared up. And I know a lot of parents are having problems with this right now, trying to figure it out. The one in North Carolina I ended up reading, by the way. There was some friends of ours who had sent it to me of what the proposal was for it. They're making the children wear masks. You know that, right?
Yeah. I mean, in elementary or?
Yeah.
Okay. And so they're just going full time?
No, they're going 1 week on, 2 weeks off, and then you have to wear masks. Your exits, you have to walk in different directions of the other children throughout the day. All of this seems like a fucking nightmare from top to bottom. If you would have told me that I would bring a child into this world and that he's going to have to walk behind his classmates with mask on in elementary school because of a virus that we can't see and know nothing about, and none of these dipshits know anything about on any of these fucking news outlets, including Fauci and all these other assholes, I would have said you were absolutely crazy. You were absolutely fucking crazy.
Right.
I wouldn't put my kid through that, to be honest with you. So I'm curious as to see what happens today, because I don't want to send him with a little mask on every day. In elementary school, they're children. How are children expected to wear masks all fucking day and communicate and socialize?
I mean, this is not, I mean,
I can't understand the woman at Starbucks today. Finally, I was like, "Hey, can you just take off the mask? I can't hear what the fuck you're saying." And she was trying to explain to me that she had to give me change in a little like tin cup, like on the side of the road. And she was like, "I'm not allowed to give you the change, sir." And I was like, I'm sorry? I'm not allowed to give you the change. I got to put it in a little shaky tin cup here. And
they're starting to actually in a lot of places not take cash at all.
Yes.
So, or they're not able to give you change. So if you give them cash, you're just tipping them, whatever the rest is.
Correct. But her mask was so big that she had to pull it down in order for me to hear. And I'm, 3 feet away, and then she's jingling old change at me like I'm Jiminy fucking Cricket, and it's just, it's weird.
I think people are also using this time as an excuse. For example, poor ejemplo. I went to McDonald's to get the kids some chicken nuggets, whatever. I'm not going to tell you my whole order. But anyway, I wanted to also get my huge an all-day sausage McMuffin, right?
Sure.
Sorry, we're not actually doing all-day breakfast during the pandemic.
Yep. Yeah, I was told that too on the drive out here.
And I said, what? Oh. Now, if I only went to McDonald's, or if I was just new to this world, maybe like an alien, and I went to McDonald's, I would think that making breakfast was the hardest thing that has ever happened ever, right?
Yeah.
It's the hardest thing to make. It's the most difficult, the most expensive. I would be like, oh my God, like McDonald's makes breakfast like this insanely unattainable situation. The all day breakfast thing was like, oh my God, we're able to slap these other, microwavable things together and put them in a microwave now all the time.
Yeah.
Before we couldn't actually put those things together at those hours. And now we're using the pandemic to kind of go back to the easier, sorry, Corona.
Pandemic.
Sorry, can't.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
can't. But in regards to the school, my child can wear the mask. He has a cool one. He actually likes to wear it. I don't think that a lot of people can. And I think it will be really hard. And I will rail against it on this show, like 100%. To him, I won't. To him, I make it fun and make it like cool.
You have to.
And you have a cool mask. And
Yes,
this is
you
going to
have
be
to.
so fun because for me, the socialization aspect of it is more important. And I saw a post about this too, is like the mom sets the tone of what this is. If I'm pissed, if I'm annoyed, if I'm blah, 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 in front of him though, not on this show, but in front of him, then he's going to be scared and weird about it or feel like he doesn't have to, or all of this.
Right.
So that's what I'm
that's
doing.
what every parent should do, by the way.
Right. So that's what I'm doing for him. But on this show, I will tell you that it depresses me and makes me sad. I don't understand it from day to day. I can't get all day breakfast. I mean, why?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't, you know me, Jabes, my heart is cold and dead.
Too.
It's a real fact. The only thing that made me break down the other day was dropping you guys off at the airport and seeing my 6-year-old wearing a mask to go through an airport, get on a plane for 5 hours and just to go see his grandparents. Like, no lie, when I drove away, like that was the first time that I got choked up about all this shit that's been going on, where it's like, I don't know how scary this is for him. I don't know if he knows what's going on, all of it. And I'm the same as you. Like, look, I will rail against this all goddamn day on the show. I've never said a word about it to him in real life or to any of our children in real life. But inside, I'm so fucking angry about all of this that it is affecting my life. It is affecting the way that I think about things from day to day. It is affecting the way that I judge people. And then I talk to people, and the people that are just so into the fucking mask and all this shit, like, I hate them. I hate them with a deep passion. And to me, that is a line that is drawn worse than a Republican or Democrat. I know politically in this country, we are divided. To me right now, I don't give a shit who you vote for. And I've said this a million times in the show. That's the beauty of a democracy. But the mask thing, and whether or not you're going to judge me on that, I am fucking angry about it. I will say this. I walked into that sushi restaurant last night, packed. Not one single person wearing a mask. Not one.
What do you mean? The staff? Nobody?
The staff, by the way, had it. They took the table behind us and were doing sake bombs last night.
Great.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
I love that. I love to see it.
So do I. I'm not even going to say the name of the restaurant because I want to go there again when you get back here and say, congratulations. This is awesome. Like, 'cause I don't want to out them. I want that party to keep on going.
Yeah.
But there was a point where she had come back to the table because I saw them do sake bombs, right? And she caught me out of the corner of her eye and she was like, "I'm really sorry, sir. Is this?" Well, I just pulled my mask down for a second or whatever, and I go, "I do not give a baker's fuck." And truthfully, that is the happiest I've been in a while, seeing you enjoy sake bombs with the rest of your cooks and bar staff and everything else. And I was like, I am the last person who gives a shit about that. And I looked around the restaurant, I was like, clearly everybody else doesn't either here. So yeah. We're all good on that.
And just real quick with our son. So the cutoff actually is 12, I think, that you have to wear a mask. But
it depends on where you are.
So if you're just talking about flying.
I'm not talking about flying. I'm talking about in real life. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from everything I've seen, as far as like stores and stuff like that, the cutoff, I think it's between 10 and 12 as far as having to wear a mask.
Right.
But for him, like I said, I wanted to make it fun. And so he didn't have to, like when you dropped us off, like he didn't have to be wearing it, but you know, he liked it and he wanted to. And I think for him, that's just the way that I'm going with it. And he doesn't know anything about how hardcore it is or what's happening.
Right.
He knows it's like a sickness that's happening and we need to just be safe. And like, that's a cool mask. And he liked it. And people say it's cool. And so he's not at all, just so you know, he's not at all like feeling any type of way about any of this. And I want to sort of keep it that way. But
same.
yeah.
And that's being a great parent. And I hope every parent is doing the same out there, because you can't let the bitterness towards what is happening in the world affect your children, because they'll remember it from you. And that in turn is going to cause them to grow up to be fucking bitter assholes about the world. No, look,
right.
Life is hard. And my parents did a great job with me in particular, all the way around. Mom, stepdad, dad, all that shit of like, hey man, just have a great childhood. And, you know, you'll figure it out how shitty the world is when you get older. And like, ignorance was bliss. I did not know until you got out into the real world where you were like, oh, fuck, most people suck. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But that's what great parents do. So that's what everybody else at home hopefully is doing with their children as well. But yeah, on this show, your kids shouldn't be watching this anyway, so I'm gonna bitch all day about it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And I get it. We get it out here, right? Even the nooners. Let's all get it out here so that we can then take a breath and be, you know, as adapting, flexible, whatever we need to do, and make it good for our kids or whatever. And as far as your cold, dead heart, I will say it comes in handy sometimes. So
it does. Yeah. Look, a lot, but I don't want it to. And man, fuck it. We'll talk about it. I don't give a shit. Just dealing with these fucking people day in and day out for everything, anything that comes along with moving and getting a new house ready and all that other stuff, especially across country. People will try to take every last dollar from you at every single turn, and you are forced to be a cocksucker all day long. And you're just like, shit, man, it would be so much easier to be nice and do your job and everything else. But that's just not the way of life, unfortunately.
And it's hard. It's hard for me because I come from a family that does that kind of stuff. So my dad is a general contractor, plumber, and I've just always seen him, and he's ingrained in me, like, just be fair, do good work, and don't, you know what I mean? Like, be honest and fair and do the work that, you know, make it the best, absolute perfect, the way that it would be if you're doing it in your own home, and people will call you back. You're not going to make your money from gouging people, overpricing, lying. And so for me, I just sort of always was like, okay, I mean, I know about this stuff, so everyone does business like that, right? And absolutely untrue. And he even, you know, has people that he works with that he's just like, bro, like, you know?
Yeah. Your dad, though, is an anomaly, to be honest with you.
But I didn't know that.
And that's why, but to be real, that's why he's worked consistently for 30 to 50 years or however. I don't know how old your dad is, but
I mean, we know how old I am, and he was working before me. So
okay. So well, you're super young, and whatever lighting,
super young. So
whatever lighting is on you right now is flawless. And if I
don't want to get too close to the camera.
If I could peel off your face and put it on mine like Nick Cage in Face Off right now, I would.
Oh,
would definitely do that.
Okay.
I put a Travolta face on right now. But yeah, your dad will always work forever because that's how he does business. Unfortunately, everybody else doesn't do shit like that.
I mean, he's still at the age that he is, and even trying to downgrade his business a little bit from like big, huge jobs to just like repairs and fixing stuff that he's done before, because he guarantees his work for like ever. So if something happens, he will come back and fix it for free.
Yeah.
So that's insane. And in a small town like this, he's turning down business still at the age that he is and the however many years. And still when he's just like, oh yeah, like people will call. He's like, oh yeah, man, I can't really make it. My granddaughter, you know, my daughter's in town, whatever. When can we reschedule? And they're always like, okay. Like there's never like, we're going to get someone else. Like he can just That's how he can live the life that he lives. I mean, he's turning down work, and that's a good thing to think about if you have a business like this. Like, if you do the right thing, if you're fair and you do the work so that people look at it and are happy with it always, you will be really successful, I think. But what the fuck do I know?
Yeah. He does it right. Everybody else is just kind of a shitbird.
I haven't met one person, I have to be honest with you, that I mean, maybe met one like in Wilmington. Other than that, that does business in that way.
Homeboy, I wish we could have flown him out here. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I know.
The biggest issue with it is, and again, I was talking about this at dinner last night. I was like, what's the fucking deal with these people who just don't work, or can't do shit right? And the answer is simple. Like, both towns that we were in, Wilmington and Austin, are booming real estate wise. They don't care because they know there's 80 other jobs down the thing. So they're like, I'll half-ass it, whatever. Like, they'll figure it out later on. They need me and not vice versa. And you're just like, all right, cool, man. I guess, like, even last night, the fucking Dish guy was there to, and the only reason I have Dish, by the way, is for the sporting package. I know I've said this a million times and I'll say it again. Live sports, that's all you can get. Like, you got to have some form of cable still. And because I host a sports show, I watch all these weird games from all over the planet. And like last night, first game that was on was Braves versus Braves. Apparently the MLB really is potentially looking like they're going to start and play. It was weird to see the Braves play each other in an empty stadium in Atlanta last night, but got to admit, love seeing baseball back on TV. But of course, this guy's like, hey man, can you help me? And I was like, yeah. Like, just lifting TVs and doing all the other shit and everything else. And I was like, might as well just done your fucking job for you at this point. You know?
Yeah.
But that's kind of what it is. And, you know, you find your people in these weird cities and all this shit. We haven't found our people here. We did, though, in Wilmington. It took a while. Found a couple.
It took a while. I mean, there are some people that are working for us that I do like, but, you know, you just got to, you both have to figure each other out, know where everybody's limits are and what the real fucking deal is. And you can move from there. I know I've definitely had to go through some shit with people back in Wilmington where it's like, no. Okay, here. And then you figure out what it really is, you know? But
yeah,
we'll see.
We got some sponsors real quick who pay for the show to be on the air. Ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. The deal that they have that is brand new is the very best that I've ever seen any company do, hands down. 30% off for anyone. This is for anything in their entire store. 30% off for everybody who's military, first responder, a teacher, works in the government. 30% off of all of their products on the site.
It's amazing.
I have never seen any company do this. To my knowledge, Jessie, unless you had a different email than I, it's not going down or it's not going away anytime soon, is it?
No. It's something they're doing, I think, during these times. So let's just say as long as, you know, teachers are, you know, we're not sure, out of work or what's going to happen, or having to deal with all of this shit as far as the, you know, this COVID is concerned, and then government workers and people that are out of work. You know, I love that they encompassed all of that right now.
Sure.
So yeah, what?
If Alec can hear us right now, fix the thumbnail of Jessie. I don't know if Ibby did that, but
what?
He should be shot and dragged out in the streets of Wilmington and then paraded through town. Jesus Christ,
fuck,
man.
Bro?
We just went on a rant about fucking work, and I mean,
what do I look like?
You look like like
right,
a
Ibby,
young.
You can leave it.
You look like no, you know, you can't leave it. It looks like you were in blackface.
Oh, I'm like very dark.
Man, I don't know what's going on. You've got huge black hair, and then you look like you're in blackface.
I do have black hair, though.
Can I,
guys?
I'll hold it up to the camera. I don't know if that'll read.
I look like an. I'm not gonna say it.
Don't know who did that.
I'm not gonna say it.
I'm
not gonna say what I look like.
Looks like you're stealing, Jabes. Looks like you're
It looks like
cultural appropriation.
It looks like I'm doing nails. Do you know what I mean?
Jesus Christ, man.
It looks like I'm doing nails.
I don't. We might as well just do this on the surface of the sun. The video show at this point, we might as well do it on the surface of the fucking sun at this point because none of it matters. We appreciate the Nooner crew for sticking this out with us, but these technical issues, holy fucking shit. Spotify, call me immediately. Just infuse the company with like $1 gajillion in cash. I just want the Alex Jones. Maybe I should just call Alex. He called me fucking 2 nights ago. Just say, hey man, can I just shoot at your studios? And one thing I'm worried about is shooting over there. I just get banned. Instantly, the show would be torn down, and that would be it. But that guy has got it dialed in. The best I've ever seen in any fucking place I've ever lived. Anyways, ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. This is what, James?
I mean, this is pretty crazy to be me in California, you in Austin, going live from Wilmington. Like,
is it?
That's pretty crazy.
Is it? I might as well hook up 2 tin cans and a long red yarn piece to go in between the two, and we can just figure it out from there and just take a screenshot of it.
You know who does have dialed in? Ghostbed. You will get your bed in, I think still you get the bed in like 2 days, 3 days, even with all of this shit. So be comfy, cozy. 30% off.
Do it. As always, they got a 36-month pay-as-you-go program. No interest at ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. And it's still applicable with all these deals. If you don't have one of the aforementioned jobs or positions in this life, it doesn't matter, man. These deals are still applicable with that no interest plan. So it's amazing. Go to ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros today. Next up, James, we got strikeforceenergy.com.
Boom, 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 boom.
Shabloinkers, James. 4 amazing flavors: grape, original, lemon, orange, and they've got a new one called just orangutan. And it just tastes like a real like orangutan hair. Yeah, real butthole.
Like a real orangutan butthole.
Butthole. So what they're doing is squirting a little bit of butthole juice in any liquid available, and that lasts double the time, actually. So if you get that, congratulations.
Yeah,
you'll be hopped up for 14 hours.
I just got that email too. So yeah, it's the little bit of orangutan butt juice. Good for you, Strike Force. Thank you so much. Love those guys over there.
Proud of you and all you do. Proud of you and all you do.
Proud of you and all you do.
Proud of you and all you do. Go to strikeforceenergy.com today. They ship everywhere in the entire world, and it's a tasty, tiny little 10 pouch. It's cheap as fuck. Man, I'm being way too honest today about everything. It's cheap as shit, and it's the best in the business. We've used it for 4.5 years. Had a subscription to it. Promo code REVOLUTION. Get you 20% off at strikeforceenergy.com. Last but not least, Jabes.
Yes.
We've got manscaped.com.
Ooh, now this one.
The best in the biz.
Yes.
Best in the biz. You know, was the awesome part about manscaped.com is, by the way, promo code REVOLUTION. We get you 20% off. It's one of the best products you will get. I was watching the UFC fights. You were with me on Saturday night. Mm-hmm. Huge dinner party. And everybody was like, oh my God, that's the sponsor of your show. They're sponsoring the UFC, the entire fight. And I was like,
well,
yes,
first they were like, oh my gosh, Manscaped? Do you guys have the lawnmower? Like, they were just talking about it because they loved the product. And we were like, yeah, I mean, you can use promo code REVOLUTION. And they're like, what? You have? So it was like, it's like most things where they judge us on the amazingness of our sponsors. Sometimes if you don't know our show, then they're like, oh, you have Manscaped? Like, that product is fucking amazing.
Yeah. It's for your pubes, kids. It's for your pits, clits, and tits if you need it, you know?
Yeah, just those couple of long hairs. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to rip those out of there.
Gotta get those out.
The Lawnmower 3.0 is their new shaver. It's the best in the biz. It is one kit that you absolutely need. Just order the kit. You'll be good for life. Go to manscaped.com, promo code REVOLUTION, 20% off. Speaking of being honest, Japes, real proud of one out there who's just thrown caution to the wind and said, fuck it. In particular, this New York Times editor who quit last night. Yeah. Barry Weiss is her name. Not only did she quit, but she went scorched earth. I'm gonna have to use my phone for this one because I want to read it.
Yeah, we want to get this here. Right. It is the New York Times. So
because she put in a resignation letter and just said the following message. It is with great sadness that I write to tell you that I am resigning from the New York Times. I joined the paper with gratitude and optimism 3 years ago. I was hired with the goal of bringing in voices that would not otherwise appear in your pages, first-time writers, centrists, conservatives, and others who would not naturally think of the Times as their home. The reason for this effort was clear. The paper's failure to anticipate the outcome of the 2016 election meant that it didn't have a firm grasp on the country it covers. Dean Baquat, which is a sexy name, sounds like maybe a gay porn star. Young, probably first in the biz, probably wants to break into straight at some point, but has to start gay. And others have admitted to me as much on various occasions. The priority in opinion, which is the op-ed pieces, was to help redress that critical shortcoming. I was honored to be a part of that effort and work to all this shit. But the lessons that ought to have followed the election, lessons about the importance of understanding other Americans, the necessity resisting tribalism, and the centrality of the free exchange of ideas to a democratic society have not been learned. Instead, a new consensus has emerged in the press, but perhaps especially at this paper, that truth isn't a process of collective discovery, but an orthodoxy already known to an enlightened few whose job is to inform everyone else. Twitter is not the masthead of the New York Times, but Twitter has become its ultimate editor. As the ethics and mores of the platform have become those of the paper itself has become increasingly become a performance-based space. Stories are chosen and told in a way that satisfy the narrowest of audiences rather than allow a curious public to read about the world and then draw their own conclusions. I'm going to stop it there. She goes on in this letter, but this is everything that I've been saying on this show for 2 or 3 years at this point. The biggest issue with this is that small segment of the people that she's talking about are the only ones who still pay for the New York Times. Therefore, if they do not cater to that audience on a day-to-day basis like this, they are completely out of business. The building that we are looking at renting here is the Statesman building. I have a meeting there today. It is the Austin newspaper. It is owned by Gannett. Now, Gannett also owns the USA Today. USA Today is a very down-the-middle paper. They always have been for years. It is the first paper that your teacher gives you in 3rd or 4th grade of like, hey, you should read the paper every day growing up. Obviously, it's moved to digital and blah, blah, blah. Same with the Statesman here. It is moving all to digital, therefore their building is for rent. Same with the New York Times and everything else. The Austin paper is very, very, very slanted as well. So is the Statesman. So is the New York Times. USA Today is pretty much the only one left that is just, we're going to give you the facts, going to give you the news and move on with our life. They don't really pick a side. However, that is not sexy anymore. That does not draw the people that it needs to draw. If you were just reading the news without a slant that is to your exact point of view, people do not want to read that anymore. I understand why she's quitting the New York Times, but I also understand why the New York Times is doing what it's doing, because it's going the same way that cable news has gone for years and years. Pick a fucking side, cater to that audience, or you're not going to make any money. I don't know one news station that is going directly down the middle with just news, maybe headline news, but that doesn't exist in a lot of cable these days, and it's certainly not digital. And newspaper-wise, the only one I can really name is USA Today. Everyone else has gone the other way because that is the only people who are still buying newspapers is the far left. It is very brave of her to come out and say this. We already knew it, but it's nice to have that confirmation so you don't feel crazy every day. You don't feel crazy reading the news every day and not understanding why one in particular paper goes after the president and the right so much. It's nice to hear it from a person that works inside. So at least I'm not crazy about all this shit we've been saying all these years, but it is wild that she did it. She must have seen the writing on the walls, pun intended, and got the fuck out of there. But that was a nice big fuck you that gained a lot of press last night. And I wanted to read it on air today because we knew it, Jabes. Like we've been talking about this for years.
For years.
Years.
And and we feel it. Like that side is so intolerant of any conservative anything. Can't have one even opinion. So yeah, we knew it. We felt it. We're feeling it.
Yeah, and it was,
and
just...
it sucks. Like after a while, you just go, dude, fuck this. Like I can't even say one thing without you guys all freaking out.
Yeah. And then your girl, by the way, Ghislaine. Ghislaine.
My girl. That one's, we're gonna probably not continue to say that, but yeah.
I just like to.
Ghislaine.
Yeah, just because of her name. Pleaded not guilty yesterday. Was denied bail. Mm-hmm. They asked for bail. That was definitely denied. So she's going to have to sit in prison until July 2021 for her court date.
Good.
Which is a very long time. I don't know if that's good or not, and I'll tell you why.
She's not going to make it. Yeah.
No. That gives Hillary a lot of time to get in there.
A lot of time. And especially with this coronavirus, we can always say that it was that. Just a little injection of the coronavirus, and boom, she died in jail.
Now they have vowed to protect her. But
there's some things you can't protect against. And one of them is the Clintons, as we well know. Mm-hmm. You have a better chance of surviving. Think of something. Fill the blank in.
Chernobyl. Yeah.
There you go.
Than getting past the Clintons.
Sure.
But yeah, I when I saw it, I was like, man, a year. She's got to sit a year in the pokey. Good luck. She's a goner.
Right.
Hopefully somebody goes in and gets her full statement. Or if I were her, knowing what this is now, like knowing it's a full year, I would go to the feds tonight and I would say, hey, here's the deal. I want immunity. I want to live on whatever island I want to live on. You can put me on Epstein's now that it's cleaned up, whatever. Mm-hmm. Right. I will give you every single person you ever wanted to know. I just want to go live in, because apparently she's got millions in the bank. So let her, if I'm her, I keep my millions, I cut a deal with the feds, and I go full Tekashi 6ix9ine and say, I'll give you every single name you want. Here we go. Here we go. Let's do it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But because I think her information of anyone in this entire world right now, and I mean that completely truthfully, I think her information that she is in full mental ownership of now could bring down the world's most powerful people. And it is more valuable for her to get that out than to keep it, and for them to keep her in jail and not let her live her life. And I know what she did was super fucked up to all these girls. I know that. But I think you've got to make some form of trade at this point. And I think outing all of these dirtbag politicians, all of these people who are buying up kids and everything else, is way more important than one person. I think she could bring down scores and scores of people. And I think that trade is worth making if you're the federal government.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear how the victims would maybe, or survivors, whatever, would feel about that. Right? Because they might be like, yeah, let's bring down all these motherfuckers. Or she was such a huge part of the violations, like a real part of all the sexualness of it and grooming them and getting them, that they may just be like, fuck her. She was the one. She was the head of all of it. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to hear, because there's many of them that are really outspoken about it. So it'd be interesting to see what they would think about it,
Yeah. I'm curious. I just think that's the move, man. I really do. And if I'm her, I think that's the move that I control, like she's in full control over who's going to get outed and what. If she shuts the fuck up and doesn't say anything, great. So they're going to get her on these 3 charges that she's on. But
what kind of message does that send? Right? That like,
to
as
who?
long as you're dealing with people that do this, which of which there's many still. So that if you do this, as long as you have powerful people that you can out, you'll get away with it. Do you know what I mean?
In this case, though, I know like this case is different, in my opinion. In this particular case, I think it is more important to get all these motherfuckers than it is for her to go down at this point, where, yes, she was just as culpable as Epstein, but the people she knows and the money that changed hands and what went on for the last 30 years, I think that is far more valuable. And you got to trade one here on this one. So we'll see. I'm curious. The last thing I want to bring up, because I got a ton of messages about this, was the Post Malone beer pong story, the latest one, that involved Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce from the Kansas City Chiefs. I did hear this story. I was unaware of the bet that they had made.
Okay.
And the bet, have you heard about this, James?
No.
Okay.
I don't know the number.
So it was not a number, which is really interesting. The day that the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, or they held their parade for winning the Super Bowl, Post Malone was in town performing a concert that night. So they raged all day. Pat Mahomes, greatest quarterback in the league right now, just signed a $503 million deal a week ago. And Travis Kelce, in my opinion, the best tight end in the league right now, kept the party going. And they went to Post Malone that night. So after the parade, they went to Post Malone. Before the show started, they were backstage, and Post Malone had asked them to play beer pong, challenged them to a game of beer pong.
As he does.
As he does. All of them said the exact same thing that happened to us. He takes it very, very seriously. They won 14 games in a row against Post Malone. Here's the thing. You're up against Pat Mahomes, the greatest quarterback in the league. It's a rough one to say that you're going to go against two of the greatest athletes in the NFL, and that's fine. They won 14 games in a row. The show is late to start, and he said, no, I want to play one more game. Fuck you guys. Same exact thing that happened to me.
Sure.
And the bet was if Post Malone loses, he's going to have them autograph their name on a piece of paper. And then he had a tattoo artist backstage who would tattoo their autographs to his person on his body.
Okay.
You want to guess the outcome of that?
So he has their names, because here's the thing. And Post, friend of the show, if you're listening, I haven't seen you win yet. Are you good? Just saying. I know you like to play a little bit and it's a hobby for you, but are you good, bro?
The quote that he gave to GQ magazine last month or 2 months ago was, "I am really fucking good at beer pong and I take it very fucking seriously."
Okay.
That is a quote. That night they were there, and Pat Mahomes begged him. Pat Mahomes was like, "Look, please do not do this. We're good. We're fans. You don't have to do this. Whatever.
It's fine, bro."
Same thing I said about the $20,000 that I went off
like,
of him. I was like, "Hey, bro,
dude,
I'm
no.
good. I don't need your 20 grand or whatever.
Just hang out.
And he goes, "No, I'm a man of my word." And he said the same exact thing to them. He goes, "I'm a man of my word. Let's do it." And I guess what they were saying, this is what Pat Mahomes was saying and Travis Kelce, that the tattoo artist was bombed. And so like he's trying to give this tattoo, and everybody's trash backstage. And they were like, "How many beers did you end up drinking?" And they were like, "Well, here's the thing. It's half cups." And both of them were like, "Dude, we were blackout drunk at that point." Like, same with me, where I was just
100%.
like, "Hey man, even though you're playing beer pong with just a couple ounces of beer in there, you drink 60 to 70 cups throughout the course of a 4 or 5 hour night. Like, yeah, you're getting housed. There's no way around it."
Yeah.
So that went down, and I've gotten a ton of messages over it, and know that our experience was almost identical, except for I got money instead of tattoos. But yeah,
and it was identical in the fact that like Post Malone doesn't win. We have friends that say that he says he's good. Again, Post, I mean, I don't know, you definitely need to rematch, because from where I'm sitting, friend, I'd find another sport that maybe you want to challenge people to all the time. Just saying. I mean, I don't know. You have it to lose, right? I mean, you're rich as fuck. So if you want to continue to play beer pong and lose all the time, like, Godspeed, buddy.
Anyways, it was a great story. It was really funny. Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce are very affable guys, and
he likes a story though, right? He's very much.
Everyone should. I like his story.
Exactly. Like, and maybe he isn't that good, but he likes a story and he likes the myth of it. Like, if you see him, you're always gonna play beer pong, and he's gonna bet big, and you better be able to back it up, or not, because he's gonna lose always. But so you don't actually need to have the things that he's betting.
Yeah.
So it's always a story, and people can always be like, "Oh shit," and it's weird and off the wall, right? So
yeah, but
hey.
but look, you're a man of the people. It's necessary, and I agree with it. Like last night, there was a cook who came out, who was part of that thing when they were doing sake bombs in the corner, and came over and was like, "Hey man, huge fan of the show. This is awesome. Can I do a sake bomb with you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm at a dinner meeting," and I was like, "Fuck yeah, of course, dude. Throw it down, put it on the table, boom, sake bomb." And he was just like, "God damn, you're just like on the show." Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. We're raging. That's it, you know?
Right.
And luckily the people I was with understood. They were like, "Hey, you know, that's dope,
gotta
dude.
Do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Throw down a sake bomb. Let's get wet." But Post is definitely that guy, and he's great. You know, as much as we kid, he's the best.
Look, I'm only saying it because I know that, you know, that he likes a bit of shit talking.
Yeah.
That it gets him going.
Yeah.
That if there's any chance of a rematch, we've got to really get him pissed. That's all.
Yep.
I'm just trying to solidify it. You know, we love you.
Yeah. For the audience, by the way, I can confirm he's putting the finishing touches on a brand new album right now. So can't wait for that. Probably in the fall or winter is what I'm told. So we'll see.
Love it.
Also heard a rumor that it might be all rock, which is
I'm
amazing. That guy hasn't missed
yet.
Do
all of it.
He hasn't missed yet. I will trust him all the way around. Jabes, fun, weird show. I don't know if anybody was watching on Drinkin Bros podcast on YouTube. We have no access to the people in the corner.
To the comments.
I was told that Ruben Schneider was the first in the room, so I want to give you shout outs.
Rubes.
Go to iTunes and give us a quick 5-star review and just a little howdy do underneath it, a little rating, if you will. Give us a review and then 5-star rating. That's what it is. Who fucking knows, Jessie? I'm in the dark. I'm in Al Jazeera over here. My next phone call is to the consulate, so I'm going to try to get out of this dark hole that I'm in. And I love you, Jabes. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Smoke and mirrors.
And take down that thumbnail, whoever put that up on YouTube. Jesus. I'm going to send it to you, Jabes, after we hang up. You're going to laugh your ass off.
God.
You look like Rachel Dolezal. Like the Dolezal shit. Enjoy it.
Love a good Dolezal.
Yeah. Dozell. That's it. Rachel Dozell.
Yeah.
And then do you have a Drinkin Broettes tonight?
I do. It's audio only. It's going to be the part 2 of our unqualified advice show. It gets fun and weird and all over the place.
Awesome. Tune into Drinkin Broettes and subscribe on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen to the podcast. For Jessie Wiseman, aka the Jables, I'm Ross Patterson. This is The Revolution. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.